And who on earth told you that you've got to have a 10-year master plan before you're allowed to change? When you say the words, I don't know what I want, usually neuroscientists call this our threat detection system. We're going to use the exact things you hate about your current reality to build the blueprint for your future. You don't need a vision board. The next time that familiar anxiety creeps up and whispers, what if you make the wrong choice? All of that and more in today's episode. So sit tight. You don't want to miss, especially step number 3, because this is the Better You Show. Hey, Doris here from BetterYou.Coach. And if you looked in the mirror this morning and felt this heavy, suffocating wave of, I don't know what I want, but I know it isn't this, I want you to take a deep breath. And then I want you to congratulate yourself. Did that throw you off? But seriously, stop beating yourself up for being confused and give yourself massive credit right now. The fact that you're listening to this episode and the fact that you're actively exploring this friction, that means you're listening to your inner voice. And in today's world, that is huge. Your built-in internal compass is ringing the alarm right now because it recognizes that something in your life isn't aligned with who you're becoming. And who on earth told you that you've got to have a 10-year master plan before you're allowed to change? So you end up staying stuck and you don't take any steps because you don't know the exact final destination. Even in a place that's draining you of your time, energy, and little pieces of yourself. So let's bust that myth right now. Knowing what you don't want is half the battle. Science calls this the process of elimination, and it's a brilliant, data-rich strategy. Your dissatisfaction isn't a failure. It's a signal, and it's fuel. By the time you finish this episode today, you're going to lay down the exhausting pressure to find your purpose, and you're going to walk away with a highly practical 3-step toolkit to turn your frustration into your next breakthrough. Let's be incredibly honest with each other. When you say the words, I don't know what I want, it usually isn't a fact. It's actually a brilliant, protective thought experiment. Neuroscientists call this our threat detection system. Your brain loves predictability because predictability equals survival. When you tell yourself, I don't know, you get to stay in the safety of the no. Because let's face it, if you admitted exactly what you wanted, you'd have to do something about it. You'd have to have a hard conversation or risk failing or set a boundary that might upset someone else. Staying in, I don't know, lets you comfortably explain without having to take a risk. But your body knows the truth. Have you noticed how your neck gets tight when you walk into that office? Or maybe you have a sudden lack of energy on Sunday nights. These are called somatic markers. Your physical body processing data long before your logical brain can articulate it. Your body's screaming, not this. And it's time that we finally listen to it. So how do we move forward when we don't have the map? We use the inverse compass framework. We're going to use the exact things you hate about your current reality to build the blueprint for your future. Step 1, audit the friction. This is the not this list. I want you to pull out a piece of paper. I want you to stop trying to be positive, and I want you to write down a ruthless, unapologetic list of everything that's draining you right now. Maybe it's, I hate that my calendar has 0 breathing room. Maybe it's, I'm exhausted by relationships where I have to overfunction. Maybe it's, I can't stand the ceiling on my current income or creativity. Get it all out. Harvard psychologist Dr. Susan David's research on emotional agility proves that when you accurately name difficult emotions, it actually downregulates your nervous system's fight, flight, or freeze response. You aren't being negative, you're collecting data. Step 2, apply the inverse rule. Once you have that list, you want to take a look at it. Every single thing that you don't want is the exact mathematical inverse of what you do desire. If you don't want a packed calendar, your core value is autonomy. If you don't want to overfunction in relationships, then your core value might be mutual support. You don't need a vision board. Your complaints are literally telling you exactly what your soul is craving. Flip the complaint and you find the baseline desire. That is critical. Find the baseline desire. Oftentimes this lines up with your values. So doing a values exercise might also help you with that baseline desire. Then step number 3, run a micro experiment. Here's where we lean into the science of motivation. Harvard Business Research discovered that the progress principle, the single most powerful driver of human motivation and happiness, is the feeling of making progress, no matter how small. You don't need to quit your job or blow up your marriage or move across the country this week. That's paralysis talking. Instead, pick one baseline desire that you uncovered in step number 2 and design a tiny, low-stakes experiment that you can run in the next 72 hours. Again, low stakes, something small. For example, if you found that you crave autonomy, maybe you want to block out 30 minutes on Thursday just for you and protect it fiercely. Or if you crave creativity, you buy a $10 watercolor set or write one paragraph of a story before bed. You'll never think your way into clarity. You've got to act your way there. That's the somatic part. One micro step at a time. The next time that familiar anxiety creeps up and whispers, "But what if you make the wrong choice?" I want you to look it right in the eye and say, "I'm choosing to experiment." You don't need to know the final destination to step out of a room that's suffocating you. Trust that voice inside of you that brought you to this episode today. It knows that you're meant for more than just tolerating a life that you built by accident. If this episode resonated with you, if you've got that list of not this items swirling in your head right now, and you want a structured, safe space to translate those complaints into a custom roadmap, let's do it together. Head over to the link in the show notes, that's betteryou.coach/start, and let's get you moving from passive tolerating to active aligned momentum. Always remember, you matter, so please take care. Oh, hey, thanks for watching. Since you watched this video, we thought you might really like this video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe right there for more great videos. Plus, tap that notification bell so that you don't miss any videos at all. Comment your thoughts below and see you next time.